This is LA's first.
Live from Los Angeles, welcome to the Dr. Erin Show. We're all about manifestation, transformation, and breakthroughs. It's time to claim your birthright of prosperity, vitality, and love. So grab your tea or coffee because together, we're awakening the world. May you live your truth. Are you ready to break through your limited beliefs about money, transform your entire mindset, and truly begin to get and flow in the currency of life, this beautiful, dynamic universe that is all abundant, all prosperous? Then this podcast is for you. This is Dr. Erin, and we come together to know the truth. We are doing a series on money breakthrough. It's honey, honey. Let's do this thing. I'm so excited. We come together to know the truth, live on spiritual principle, and align with universal law. We truly believe that when somebody awakens to the truth of who they are, they absolutely live a life of prosperity because they are abundant. That's the true nature of who we are. And we know that each and every one of you deserves and has the birthright of prosperity, abundance, monetization, and money, and all the above. So let's do this thing, guys. We are on the Money Breakthrough series of this podcast, and we have gone over some really cool things. We went over the first podcast on the Money Breakthrough. We went through all about the metaphysics of money. I told a little bit about my personal story of growth, of understanding how money does not necessarily equate to prosperity. I remember I told you guys a story about becoming a millionaire and still feeling very scarce, feeling a lack, feeling not in flow with the world, and really having the shift of going to understanding that the truth is within, and that service and giving and receiving, it's all a flow. And when we get in that flow, we are truly in truth and living in prosperity, living abundance as that, not looking to the world for our source, not looking to the world to think we will be, rich once we have things out there. That it truly is an embodiment of the truth within. And you had the homework of basically writing down all your story and your limited belief systems, your BS about money, everything from looking where you got, programmed through your lineage and through, the imprinting from your family and all the media and everything. And then making a list of everything that you truly, really want in this lifetime, what you want to, and then praying and meditating and visualizing on asking yourself the question, who do I need to become to be the mental equivalent of that outpicturing of the expression of the depths of your soul and form? On the second Money Breakthrough podcast, we went through the 3 ways of reprogramming your subconscious mind around money, looking at how we imprint it through negative things like trauma, how we can get into that neutralization, the zero factor, the God factor through our daily spiritual practice, and how we can program it in a positive aspect through the declarations and spiritual mind treatment and spoken word and affirmations. Truly, truly, in those 3 ways of reprogramming, went through the entire process of what that looks like to reprogram, how we get programmed through our epigenetics and through trauma and everything else. And so on that homework, you had a homework of looking and really committing, deciding of doing your trauma work, whether it be through society, through someone else, having a spiritual practice, and then really declaring the truth for yourself every day in every way. So today's podcast, we're going to talk about shifting your perspective around money, the great shift to money, to prosperity, to abundance, right? We're going to go over the 10 principles, 10 statements of principles in the abundance book. So I remember when I was going through, my practitioner program and becoming a law of attraction minister and a doctor of divinity, I'll never forget there was an actual course. It was an abundance course. It was one of the prereqs back in the day for becoming a spiritual practitioner. And it was based upon the book, The Abundance Book by John Randolph Price. And in this book, we had to read the book and we had to do a 40-day practice of shifting our mindset around prosperity. And we recognize that 40 days is it's a biblical reference. It's also astrological, planetary. Buddha went and, meditated for 40 days in the desert, right? So, I'm sorry, Buddha went and meditated. Jesus went and meditated. We all have the same theme of 40 days. So there's something in the 40-day factor around understanding that we're reprogramming the subconscious mind. And the point is that whether you can reprogram the subconscious mind right away, or some people say it takes, 1,000 days, it doesn't matter. The point is that when we do things over and over again, we recognize that we are imprinting and reprogramming our own subconscious mind that is one with the subjective mind, that's one with the divine mind, universal law. And so the point of doing a 40-day prosperity plan is to reprogram yourself, to really shift and make new habits, new ways of being, and program in our automated system. So it's just how we view life. So here I was in this class. I was in this abundance prosperity class that we had to do a 40-day practice. And what we had to do is we had to start on a specific date, and you had to start with doing one thing. And for us, it was two things. We had to think about these 40 principles of shifting our mindset and perspective, what it means to have prosperity, what it means to be prosperous. And then we had to pick one thing that we were going to do consistently for in total 40 days. And so for me, I was actually writing blogs. So I actually wrote a blog for 40 days straight, and I meditated on these principles of statement that I'm going to read to you today. And I remember at the end of the 40 days, I actually completed the 40 days. And I realized at that point in time that I had never done anything consistently for 40 days. And that book changed my life, because out of that book, I actually wrote my book out of that 40-day book. I began to do 40-day challenges online, and which changed my entire, viewership and everything else. And I began to do this. I would do it with my son. We'd pick 40-day things that we wanted to do, and we'd check in every day for 40 days and things like that. So this 40-day prosperity plan and this book changed my life for sure. Something that we refer to in the New Thought movement all the time. So let's just know the truth together. Let's take a deep breath in through the nose and exhaling out. We start always with a Furnace Mind treatment, setting the atmosphere, our attitude, and all of it. We are literally knowing the truth for ourselves and energizing every cell of our body, and energizing our subconscious mind, which is the subjective mind, which is universal law. And so I recognize right here, right now, the power that be, the power of what we say, and I say right now. And in this, I know the oneness that I am, the union that I am. I recognize my word is speaking into the eternity of all of life, into every cell, and to the entire universe. I know the power that be, the I am factor. And in this, I know our true identity, your true identity, my true identity is divine, is God, is the creator, is one, it is all, because your true identity is not just the individual self, it is the collective self, and it is the cosmic self. That's the truth. We are the universe. We're not these bodies. We're not our beliefs. We're not any of the circumstances of our life. We're the creator of all of it. And I recognize this truth. And I know in this truth, we are also abundance. We are prosperity. We are all of it. We have created money. We've created gold. We've created all that. It is who we are. It is the essence of what we created. And there's only abundance in this universe, because there's infinite ways of creating, infinite ways of putting mathematical equations together, infinite ways of putting the elements of the universe together. And therefore, all of it is ours. Every last drop of it, all prosperity is yours. And so I just say, thank you, thank you, thank you for knowing the truth. As together we say, and so it is. So today we're going to go over the 10 statements, principles to state, because as we know the truth, we teach as a doctor of divinity, we're considered doctors because we heal through revealing the truth. So today, let's just do this real quick as we dive into this. I'd like to just start with something real quick. Let's see. Through Anne Besant. The world, with all its beauty, its happiness and suffering, its joys and pains, is planned with the utmost ingenuity, in order that the powers of the self may be shown forth in manifestation. And so understand that as we pray, we purposely rise and yield. Pray, we purposely rise and yield. I know that the truth of who you are is prosperity, is abundance. And so I understand in this. Ernest Holmes said in The Science of Mind, prosperity is the outpicturing of substance in our affairs. Everything in the universe is for us. Nothing is against us. Life is ever giving of itself. We must receive, utilize, and extend the gift. Success and prosperity are spiritual attributes belonging to all people, but not necessarily used by all people. So let us learn, let us grow. With all the great masters. This book is so good, you guys. All the great masters of New Thought movement, And if you don't know what New Thought movement is, it basically was stemmed out of the mental cure movement that happened over in Europe. And it all linked us back into true consciousness, which is the powerful consciousness, which links into Buddha and Christ and all the great masters, links us into all science, all philosophy. We teach oneness. That is our primary principle. So let's do this thing in a money breakthrough. We have to reprogram the subconscious mind. We have to understand metaphysics and universal law. And we have to begin to transform our trauma and have a spiritual practice. And we have to have a shift in consciousness of what we perceive prosperity to be. We can no longer look to the world for our prosperity. We only know and look within to the true self for all abundance, all prosperity, all creation. So in this, if you want to do the 40-day challenge, you can pick a specific date and start. And if you miss one day and you don't do it, then you technically need to go back to the very beginning and start again. And then this is going to teach yourself to build trust, to build integrity around your practice. So you can pick a date. And so then you do that, okay? So I'm going to read these 10 statements of principles. But first, we want to state that this day, whatever day you choose to start your 40-day practice, I cease believing invisible money as my supply and my support. And I view the world of effect as it truly is, simply an outpicturing of my former beliefs. I believe in the power of money. Therefore, I surrender my God-given power and authority to an objectified belief. I believed in the possibility of lack, thus causing a separation in consciousness from source of my supply. I did that. I believed that I was separate, right, you guys? And therefore, I created myself in scarcity. I believe in mortal man and carnal conditions, and through this faith gave man and the conditions power over me. I did that, you guys. I handed my power over and made money more powerful than myself. I did that. I believed in the mortal illusion created by the collective consciousness of error thoughts, and in doing so, I have limited the unlimited. No more. This day I renounce my so-called humanhood and claim my divine inheritance as a being of God. This day I acknowledge God, divine source. It doesn't matter if you don't like that word, it's fine. This day I acknowledge God and my only God within as a substance of my supply and my support. And so I know today, as we go forth into this money breakthrough, if you choose to do a 40-day prosperity practice, that the practice is to no longer place your source out in the world, no longer look to your source of abundance or prosperity or getting something, that you're only generating from yourself, you're only giving of thyself, you're only manifesting from the self, from true self, and all of your substance is from within. Love is the true substance. Love is the ever-giving source that can generate and create miracles and manifest all things into existence. If you look right now at your computer or your phone, you look at the things around that you love, maybe you have a ring on your finger that you love, or the people in your life, or whatever it is, you have to understand that this all began in consciousness. The computer that you're on or the phone that you're on listening to this was created out of the love of technology, the love that somebody had a creation and thought. They put a vision in their mind and they created it, and then it came into form. Everything began from within, every last drop of it. Every business, every material thing, everything begins in mind. We're in a mental universe, and so we have to understand the power of mind. Okay, so there's going to be 10 statements of principles that we want to read, one each day, and meditate on each principle. And so you can grab the book or you can listen to this podcast and write them down. And then after reading a daily statement, you can, in the morning and the evening there's a book called The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy, which is a brilliant book. And in this, we recognize through science and through this book that there's 2 times in the day that our subconscious really is open, which is right when we're waking up and right when we're going to sleep. we go, through the different forms of consciousness from beta to theta, and it opens up. And so we want to really use this time to program in our mind and consciousness. So my invitation is, when you're going to sleep at night, when you're rising in the morning, really know the truth and state these statements, and begin to visualize your life, a mental equivalent of asking yourself, who do I need to become? Who do I need to become to be the mental equivalent? Okay. So each day, doing this daily without breaking the 40-day cycle. If you break a cycle, then you have to start again. Okay. And since you've already received all sufficient supply, all the infinite mind, all of it is yours. And you know this in mind totally as we go into this. So the statements of principle number 1: God is lavish, unfailing abundance, the rich, omnipresent substance of the universe. This all-providing source of infinite prosperity is individualized as me, the reality of me. Number 2, I lift up my mind and heart to be aware, to understand, and I know that the divine presence I am is the source and substance of all my good. Number 3, I am conscious of the inner presence as my lavish abundance. I am conscious of the constant activity of the mind, of this mind, of infinite prosperity. Therefore, my consciousness is filled with the light of truth. Number 4, through my consciousness of my God self, the Christ within, the Buddhist within, the everything within, as my source, I draw into my mind and feeling nature, the very essence and substance of spirit. This substance is my supply. Thus, my consciousness of the presence of God within me is my supply. Number 5, money is not my supply. No person, place, or condition is my supply. My awareness, understanding, and knowledge of the all-providing activity of the divine mind within me is my supply. My consciousness of this truth is unlimited. Therefore, my supply is unlimited. Number 6, my inner supply instantly and constantly takes on form and experience according to my needs and desires. And as the principle of supply in action, it is impossible for me to have any needs or unfulfilled desires. Number 7, the divine consciousness that I am is forever expressing its true nature of abundance. This is its responsibility, not mine. My only responsibility is to be aware of this truth. Therefore, I am totally confident in letting go and letting God. So it's not about letting go to some other person. It's really letting go, surrendering beyond the divided mind that is trying to control it and figure it out, the linear thinking, okay? Letting go to God within your higher self appear as the abundant all-sufficiency in my life and affairs. Number 8, my consciousness of the spirit within me as my unlimited source is the divine power to restore the years of locusts have eaten, to make all things new, to lift me up to the high road of abundant prosperity. This awareness, understanding, and knowledge of spirit appears as every visible form and experience that I could possibly desire. Number 9, when I am aware of the God self within me as my total fulfillment, I am totally fulfilled. I am now aware of this truth. I have found the secret of life, and I relax into the knowledge that the activity of the divine abundance is eternally operating in my life. I simply have to be aware of the flow, the radiation of the creative energy, which is continuously and easily, effortlessly pouring forth from my divine consciousness. I am now aware. I am now in flow. And number 10, I keep my mind and thoughts off this world, and I place my entire focus on God within as the only cause of my prosperity. I acknowledge the inner presence as the only activity in my financial affairs. As the substance of all things visible, I place my faith in the principle of abundance in action within me. Yes, yes, yes. And so I recognize right now that as we shift to the truth in consciousness, as we no longer ever place our power out in the world, we never look as our substance out there, that we're so filled with joy, we're so filled with abundance, that our cup runneth over in joy, and our ability to manifest, our ability to innovate, our ability to create great relationships that build upon incredible principles, bringing more and more prosperity and joy in our life. And so today, your homework and what I invite you to do is to, find statements of principles that work for you, that are in truth. You can get this book, the Abundance Book. We have a meditation, also a freebie for you, that is all about abundance and prosperity. You can grab it in my bio on all social media. On Instagram, it's drerin.tv, DRERIN.tv. We'll probably put a link down here under this podcast as well. It's a 11-minute meditation on prosperity, I believe. So we'll get that. But every day when you wake up in the morning and you go to sleep, I want you to visualize your life of abundance, extend gratitude through the ethers, and really energize the truth of who you are, knowing that whatever you desire is done because it is who you are. You can create anything you want. You can create abundance of money, monetization, prosperity, abundance. That is your homework to use to do a 40-day practice, if you choose to, when you wake up and when you go to sleep each day, okay? Having statements of affirmation and beginning to visualize your life as you design it. Okay, you guys, so have a beautiful day. I'm so excited. If you got a lot out of this Money Breakthrough podcast, please, we'd love a 5-star review. We'd love for you to share it with a friend. It's fun to do these programs together with other people and make sure that everyone around us is thriving together, okay? Have a beautiful day, and I'll see you on the next Money Breakthrough. Thank you for tuning in to Soulciety and Dr. Erin podcast. If you've had a calling to be a spiritual leader or coach, you can go to soulciety.com and check out our free training. If you've received value here, I would love it if you take a moment and give a 5-star review. In exchange, I have a ton of free gifts for you. Grab your free Awakening book, 40 guided meditations, and digital manifesting masterclass. I also have a free money meditation and worksheet for you so you can begin to break through your scarcity mindset and claim your birthright of prosperity. You can get all of your gifts and learn about our upcoming transformational events in my bio link in both Instagram and Facebook. That's under drerin.tv, which is DRERIN.tv. Also, I'd love to invite you into our free private community on Facebook under groups called Soulciety. That is facebook.com/groups/Soulciety. That's SOULCIETE. Have a divine day, and may you live your truth.